Good morning, students. I, Dr. Kailas Sanap from NV Mehta Science College, Bodhi, welcomes you all in the study of second chapter substrate for dyes, that is types of fibers of dyes syllabus. Now we are going to study dyes. Now question is why we have to study types of fibers or substrate for dyes. Okay, so we know one of the most important substrate for dyestuff industry is what? Textile material. One of the most important substrate for dyestuff industry is what? Textile material. These textile material are of different types. They are coming from different sources. Maybe natural fibers, maybe semi-synthetic fiber, maybe completely synthetic fibers. So textile material is of different types. So they are having different kinds of functional group, chemical functional group in it. So these textile material are having different types of chemical functionality in it. So this chemical functionality of each type of textile material affects their properties when they are going to react with dyes. Okay, so this chemical functionality is more important. That means we have to study what is the chemical functionality present in that types of fiber. So we have to study chemical properties of these fiber. So these fiber are nothing but what? Substrate for dyes or types of fiber. This is what we have to see in this chapter. Let's see one by one. Now see, in this slide we will see types of fibers. Types of fibers. See, there are generally three types of fibers. First one is synthetic fibers, second one is semi-synthetic fiber, and third one is natural fiber. See, natural fiber is having three examples. First one is cotton, silk, and wool. Cotton, silk, and wool. Semi-synthetic fibers are having viscous rayon, cyproammonium rayon, or silk, and acetate rayon. These are the three examples for semi-synthetic fiber. Now lastly, synthetic fibers are having two examples. One is nylon and second one is polyester fiber. So these are the what? Nothing but the types of fiber. These examples are nothing but what? The types of fiber under these three classes: natural fiber, semi-synthetic fiber, and synthetic fiber. So we have to study in this chapter one by one this type of substrate. Let's move further. In this slide we will see cotton fiber. See, cotton fiber, here I have shown a tree of cotton fiber. See, this cotton fiber, this cotton tree is having cotton flower, and this bird of flower is having cotton, which is now completely dried, completely matured. Okay, so now see, cotton is nothing but what? A cellulosic fiber. Cotton is nothing but what? A cellulosic fiber. It is made up of purely cellulosic units. It is made up of pure cellulosic units. Cellulosic units are nothing but what? Linearly arranged chains of bi-glucose units. Cellulose units is nothing but what? Linearly arranged chains of bi-glucose units with they are having bridges of ether linkages. Which having bridges of ether linkages. Ether linkages means what? R dash. Now by these bi-glucose units, it has primary and secondary alcoholic groups which makes fiber hydrophilic. Sorry. Okay, these bi-glucose units is having primary and secondary alcoholic group which makes fiber hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means what? It likes water, so it is soluble in what? Water. Now third next point is what? Cellulose units are neither acidic, they are not basic, so it is completely neutral fiber. Now see here, I have shown you this what biglucose units of cotton fiber. See here, this is what primary alcoholic group, this is what secondary alcoholic group, this is again what primary alcoholic group, and this is what secondary alcoholic group. So see here, there is a what ether linkage or ether bridge. Similar, this is what a biglucose unit. So these biglucose units get joined to another biglucose units. So around in cotton fiber there are 5000 biglucose units. So this cotton is nothing but a polymer of this glucose biglucose units. Let's see next point. Now next point is, what is mercerization? What is mercerization? This boy is also in question. What is mean by mercerization? So do you know what is mean by mercerization? Mercerization is a term which is related to what? Cotton fiber, particularly a cotton fiber. So cotton fibers are having generally thread likes of structure. Cotton fiber, they are having thread likes of structure, so they are not that much suitable for dyeing. So before dyeing we have to make them a very good substrate for dyes. That means we have to make strength of that fiber well, we have to make it should have good luster type of a structure. So for that we have to dip this cotton fiber in what? A alkali. We have to dip this cotton fiber in alkali for some time, then we have to treat it with another methods. So this is what mercerization. Let's see. Mercerization, see, is a textile finishing treatment for cellulosic fabric like cotton, which improves dye uptake. That is, affinity of dyes is increased for that cellulosic fiber. That means for cotton fiber, affinity of dyes will get increased, and it will also make it strengthen to tear. Okay, now it reduces fabric shrinkage. It reduces what? Fabric shrinkage, and it imparts silk like luster to that cotton fabric. It imparts what? Silk like luster to that cotton fabric. We know silk material is very nice to see as compared to cotton material. Okay, cotton material is looking some dull, or while silk material is looking some bright. Okay, so because of this mercerization process, cotton fibers will also have silk type of luster. Now see, I have shown you, this is what not mercerized cotton. See here, there are some thread like structures. Okay, some threads are looking here. Okay, when this is processed, that is when this is mercerized, this get converted into this type of structure. Now here we are not observing any thread which is coming outside from it. So there is no any thread coming outside from it, and also we can say this material is having good lusters. Okay, that means they are become lustrous now after mercerized. So this is what mercerization. Let's see next point. Next we have to see wool. Next fiber, wool fiber. Okay, see again, this is a what? Natural fiber. Wool fiber is a what? Natural fiber. We know it is mostly obtained from sheep's sheep. That sheep, one of the most famous sheep for this wool fiber is merino sheep. Okay, one of the most famous sheep for this wool fiber is what? Merino sheep. Also wool is coming from another animal like rabbit. Okay, but sheep is one of the most important animal for wool fiber. will consist of protein, that is nothing but a three-dimensional protein, keratin, which is having ternary structure, and small percentage of lipid will consist of protein. Which protein? Keratin, and small percentage of lipid. Protein is composed of polypeptides and amino acid. Protein is composed of polypeptide and 20 amino acids. Now 20 amino acids, carboxylic acid, which are having carboxylic acid end groups, and side chains with disulfide groups. Side chain with what? Disulfide groups, which keep the main polypeptide skeleton parallel to each other. Suppose these are what? Main polypeptide skeleton, okay, and in between that there is what? A disulfide linkage. So see here, these are what? Alkyl chains. These are what? Alkyl chains specific to individual amino acids. This is structure of wool, and that structure of wool is having these alkyl chains. Now this is what? Cysteine molecule. This is what? A cysteine molecule which is having disulfide linkage. This is having what? Disulfide linkage. This cysteine, see what is the spelling of it? Cystine. Cystine. While amino acid we know Cysteine, that is what? Amino acid. Sorry, Cystein. Cystein, that is what? Nothing but the amino acid. When that amino acid cysteine, Cystein, it oxidizes in presence of air, it will get converted into what? Cysteine molecule. It will get converted into what? Cysteine molecule, and now that cysteine molecule is having disulfide linkage. Now next we will see structure of wool fiber. In next slide we will see structure of wool fiber in detail. See, this is what? A wool fibers, completely wool fiber. Now this wool fiber, see, this is what? Main skeletal chain. Again, this is what? Main skeletal chain, okay, and this main skeletal chain is joined by disulfide linkage. Here its main skeleton chain is joined by ionic bond. Here this main skeleton chain is joined by what? Hydrogen bond, and here it is joined by isopeptide cross-link. That is, here this is nothing but what? A covalent bond. So these types of bonds are present in wool fiber. These types of bonding, that means disulfide linkage, it's also a covalent bonding, while hydrophobic bond is also there, ionic bond is also there, hydrogen bond is also there, and isopeptide cross linkage is also there. Isopeptide cross linkage and intermolecular disulfide cross link, they are what? Completely covalent bonds. Also there is what? Intermolecular disulfide cross link. Here also there is intermolecular disulfide cross links, okay. So this is what? The structure of wool fiber. Now here we will see properties of wool fiber. Wool fibers disintegrates on treatment with base. Wool fibers are disintegrates on treatment with base. That means they are broken down when we are treated that wool fiber with what? Base. Strong acid hydrolyze the structure of wool. Strong acidic condition also hydrolyzes the structure of wool at the time of, so at the time of acidity should be controlled. When we have to dye wool fiber in acidic medium, so acidic condition, that means pH of acidic condition should be maintained. Otherwise, if it got converted to strong acidic medium, then wool fiber will get broken down. That means it will get hydrolyzed. Now it is dyed with acid and basic dyes both through the formation of salt linkages with amino and carboxylic acid end groups. It is also dyed with reactive dyes that can form covalent bond. Complete covalent bond is a complete chemical bond with available amino group. And next one is what? Modern dyes are also used to alter the dyeing ability of wool. Modern dyes are also used for dyeing these wool fiber, which would alter the dyeing ability of wool fiber. Now see here, we have seen this point. It is also dyed with reactive dyes that can form covalent bond with available amino group. We have seen structure of wool fiber, that wool fiber is having NH2 end and carboxylic acid end. So that NH2 end and carboxylic acid end, okay, they can form covalent bonds with what? Dyes. So this is what the properties of wool fiber. Next point we will see silk fiber. Silk fiber, it is also a natural fiber. It is also a natural fiber. We know silk is a natural protein fiber, some forms of which can be woven into what? Textile. Some form of which can be woven into what? Textile material. The protein fiber of silk is composed mainly of fibroin. The protein fiber of silk is composed mainly of fibroin, which is what? Insoluble protein. This is nothing but what? Insoluble protein, and it's produced by certain insect larvae. That fibroin is produced by fibroin, nothing but what? Insoluble protein, which is not soluble in water, and that is produced by certain insect larvae to form cocoons. To form what? Cocoons, and that cocoons are further processed to get a silk material. Now we know the best known example to obtain this cocoon of the larvae is mulberry silkworm. Okay, mulberry silkworm, that is what? Bombax mori. Bombax mori. Mulberry cultivation. Mulberry is a plant. Okay, mulberry is a plant. On that, some this Bombax mori is what? A insect, and that insect is taking that the leaves. Okay, that means it's spreading that leaves of mulberry plant, and then after that insect is getting into what? Converted into larvae, then it is getting converted into what's? Cocoon, and that cocoons are processed further to get what? This silk material, silk fiber. Silk fibers on hydrolysis gives glycine, alanine, serine and tyrosine. Silk fiber on hydrolysis gives what? Glycine, alanine, serine and tyrosine. You can go through the structures of these glycine, alanine, serine and tyrosine. I have not shown here. Now next is what? Silk fiber is dyed with what? Acid or basic dyes. Silk fiber is dyed with what? Acid or basic dyes through the formation of salt linkages. Through the formation of salt linkages. Salt linkages means what? Sodium chloride, we know Na plus Cl minus. Okay, there is what? A ionic bond. So such type of bonding is there in between silk fiber and acid and basic dyes. Now see here, I have shown one of the video, just a 50 seconds video. This is what? A 50 seconds video, that cricket insect, name of insect is what? Cricket insect, that is owing what? This silk fiber. How it is owing silk fiber in that video we have to see. Let's see. See, you can keep watch here in this portion. See how that I like portion is getting converted into thread like structure. So that cricket insect is spinning that fiber. Okay, now it got converted into thicker shade. I hope you will see this video on your mobiles. Okay, let's see next slide. So up to previous slides, we have seen natural fiber, cotton, wool, silk. Okay, now we will see semi-synthetic fibers. Semi-synthetic fibers are derived from naturally occurring fibers through a chemical process. Semi-synthetic fibers are derived from naturally occurring fibers through a chemical process. So basically, naturally occurring fibers are harvested and broken down into some pieces, and then they are processed into what semi-synthetic fibers. This is most commonly done with what cellulosic fiber. This semi-synthetic fiber is mostly made up, that means they mostly did for cellulosic fibers like cotton. The cellulose is extracted from plant, which is made soluble and then spun into fiber. That means cellulose taken from plants, which make soluble in what, some chemicals. Okay, and then that spun into what, fibers, is nothing but what, semi synthetic fibers. That means natural part is also there, chemical part is also there, hence it's what, semi synthetic fibers. Examples are viscous rayon, cuprammonium rayon, and acetate rayon. These are what, the examples of semi synthetic fibers. Now we will see how viscous rayon fiber is synthesized in laboratory. This is what the process, what, a chemical process, step by step chemical process, how viscous rayon fiber is synthesized in what, laboratory. Okay, let's see. The points are mentioned here. Let's see one by one. First is what, bleaching of wood pulp. Okay, wood pulp is taken, which is bleached, and then it's soaked in 18% sodium hydroxide solution for 1 hour at 13 to 14 degree Celsius. Okay, that means wood pulp is taken. Wood pulp means what, extract of wood material. Okay, crushed wood is taken, that is what is having cellulose units. Okay, cellulose material. So that is bleached first, and that bleach of wood pulp is then soaked into what, 18% sodium hydroxide for 1 hour at 13 to 40 degrees Celsius. After that, we will get what, a alkali solution of this wood pulp. We will get alkali solution of this wood pulp. That means wood pulp will get converted into alkali solution. That means some alkali salt or alkali material. That means some alkali cellulose. Okay, it will get converted into what, alkali cellulose. And that alkali cellulose is next treated further to remove out excess NaOH. That alkali cellulose is treated further to remove out excess NaOH, and what we will get, NaOH is removed out. Now we will get a matter. Okay, we will get some solid matter. That solid matter is compressed and broken down into what, pieces. They are broken down into pieces, and then it is treated with what, carbon disulfide. Then it is treated with CS2, is nothing but what, carbon disulfide, to get converted into what, cellulose xanthate. To get converted into what, cellulose xanthate. Now next step is, we got cellulose xanthate. That cellulose xanthate is dissolved in what, dilute NaOH. Cellulose xanthate is dissolved in dilute sodium hydroxide, caustic soda. What, sodium hydroxide? In industry it's called caustic soda. Okay, and that is dissolved in dilute caustic soda, or we may say sodium hydroxide, and it's allowed to ripen for 4-5 days. That means that solution we have to kept it aside for 4-5 days. Let's some chemical reaction should happen in between that dilute sodium hydroxide and in cellulose xanthate. Now we will get a solution again after 4-5 days. That means after ripening process we will get a solution again. That solution is passed or that solution is forced. That means we are not saying here pass verb, but we will say here force. Both of them are having equal meaning, but force is what? Having pressure, and pass is not having that much pressure. So it is forced through spinneret. Spinneret is nothing but what? A small material that is having small tiny holes, like a shower, you may say shower. Okay, spinneret. Okay, that big material having small holes. So it is, that solution is forced through spinneret and into a spinning bath. Into a what? Spinning bath. That spinning bath is having 10% sulfuric acid and 20% sodium sulfate solution. Okay, see what we will get a solution. This obtained solution is forced through what? Spinneret into a spinning bath. That spinning bath is having composition of chemical 10% sulfuric acid and 20% sodium sulfate. Now as soon as when we will force that solution through a spinneret into a spinning bath, then that solution, okay, that solution, that means, see, shower up, you are washing shower. Okay, that means when you are taking bath from by shower, that see how water is coming through a like a lines. So that solution is also forced through that spinneret like a lines, and that each line will get converted into a fiber, one fiber. Each line will get converted to a each fiber in that spinning bath. Okay, so when that solution will comes in contact with what? Acids. Okay, when that alkali solution when comes in contact with what? Acid, that means alkali will get neutralized. See, we are having cellulose xanthate solution and we kept that cellulose xanthate in what? Sodium hydroxide, dilute sodium hydroxide. So that solution is alkaline. And in spinning bath we kept what? 10% sulfuric acid and 20% sodium sulfate. So spinning bath is having acidic solution and our wood pulp is in alkaline solution. When that wood pulp is forced through what? Spinneret into a spin bath is having acid solution, so there will be a contact of alkali with what? Acids. So when they will get neutralized, that will get converted into fibers. Okay, and that fibers are nothing but what? Viscous rayon. Okay, let's see further. Taking time. Okay, now see, in this video, see here I have shown you video of viscous rayon synthesis. Okay, video of viscous rayon synthesis. So this is what a small in minute quantity we can do it in laboratory also. How we can synthesize viscous rayon, we can try it in our laboratory also. Okay, so let's see how. See, this is what a spinneret or a needle. Okay, it's what a needle. See, this needle is pouring solution. This needle is pouring solution in this what? This is what is spinning bath. This beaker is having solution is nothing but what? A spinning bath, and that spinning bath is having acid solution. This spinning bath is having acid solution, that is 10% sulfuric acid and 20% sodium sulfate. And this needle, the solution which is coming through the needle, that is what? Cellulose xanthate. That is what? Cellulose xanthate in alkali. When it will come in contact with this acid, that solution, that means the solution is coming from the needle, it will get converted into what? Fiber. This what we have to watch here. It is just a 10 to 15 seconds video. See carefully. Okay, see that needle is pouring what? Solution, and that solution is getting converted into what? Fiber. This what this video shows here. Now let us see next fiber. I hope you have seen this video. Next is cupra ammonium rayon or silk. Next fiber is what? Cupra ammonium rayon or silk. It's again what? Semi-synthetic fiber. Cupra ammonium rayon or silk. See here in this, the synthesis of cupra ammonium rayon or silk, a ppt of copper hydroxide, that means precipitate of copper hydroxide, is dissolved in ammonium hydroxide to get deep blue colored cupra ammonium hydroxide. Freshly precipitated copper hydroxide is dissolved in ammonium hydroxide to get deep blue color cupra ammonium hydroxide in first step. Now in next step, this cupra ammonium hydroxide is mixed with what? Wood pulp. Okay, this cupra ammonium hydroxide is mixed with what? Wood pulp. Then cellulosic material. Okay, wood pulp is nothing but is having what? Cellulose. So cellulosic material will get dissolved in what? This cupra ammonium hydroxide, and then we have to filter that solution to remove out impurity. We have to filter that solution to remove out impurity. Now in third step, we will get a filtrate, isn't it? That filtrate is our required solution. Filtrate is our required solution, not that impurity upper part of filtration. And that solution filtrate is forced through what? Again spinneret again, which is again forced through what? Spinneret into spinning bath, and that spinning bath is having sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, here we will get a solution, and that solution we have to force through what? Spinneret into a spinning bath. That spinning bath is having sodium hydroxide solution. The solution coagulates to form filaments of cellulose fibers. Okay, as soon as that solution will come in contact with what? Spin bath solution, that is sodium hydroxide solution, that solution which is coming in sodium hydroxide, it will get coagulates, and there will be a conversion into what? A filaments of cupra ammonium silk. Okay, let's see next point. Next is acetate rayon. Next fiber, and this is what? The last semi-synthetic fiber, acetate rayon. See here, in the synthesis of acetate rayon fiber, equal amount of acetic anhydride and glacial acetic acid are taken, and they are reacted with what? Little sulfuric acid solution. Okay, or we may say equal amount of acetic anhydride and glacial acetic acid is mixed with what? Little quantity of H2SO4, concentrated sulfuric acid, and this mixture is cooled to what? 7 degrees Celsius. Now wood pulp is added to that, temperature kept 30 degrees Celsius. Temperature kept what? How much? 30 degrees Celsius. It's not minus 30, it's what? 30 degrees Celsius. And this mixture is kept for 6 to 8 hours. They allowed to stand it for 6 to 8 hours. Then what will happen? Cellulose of this wood pulp, will get converted into what? Cellulose triacetate. Cellulose of this wood pulp will get converted into what? Cellulose triacetate. Now see, in next point, viscous solution of cellulose triacetate is taken. In next step, viscous solution of cellulose triacetate is taken, and that is reacted with what? Acetic acid and 10% H2SO4, and which is kept for 15 hours, at 38 degree Celsius. Now what? That from second step we got cellulose triacetate. That viscous solution of cellulose triacetate is taken and is reacted with what? Acetic acid in 10% sulfuric acid solution, and that is kept for 15 hours at 38 degrees Celsius. Now what we will get? We will get a reaction mixture. This what we will say? Reaction mixture, and this reaction mixture is diluted with water. to get precipitate of cellulose diacetate. To get precipitate of cellulose diacetate. See here we are getting cellulose triacetate. When after this step we are reacting this reaction mixture with what? Water. That cellulose triacetate will get converted into what? Cellulose diacetate. That means one molecule, that means one acetate ester is hydrolyzed into acids. Okay, and that means we will get here cellulose diacetate. Now next, this cellulose diacetate is centrifuged to separate diacetate solid. This cellulose diacetate is centrifuged, okay, to separate this diacetate solid, and that diacetate flakes are washed, dried, okay, and dissolved in what? Acetone, and they are forced through again spinneret, okay, forced through spinneret into a current of warm moist air to get cellulose, and that cellulose is nothing but what? A filaments, and that filaments is having acetate rayon. Is what? Acetate rayon. As we are reacting it with what here? Acetic anhydride, acetic acid. So cellulose is having hydroxyl, that hydroxyl will get converted into what? Acetate. Okay, so it is what? Acetate rayon fiber. Okay. See, next class of fiber are synthetic fibers. Okay, they are completely man-made fibers. They are not occurring in nature. Okay, or they are not modified natural fibers. These are completely man-made. Okay, they are completely prepared in laboratory through chemicals. So these are what? Synthetic fibers. It involves synthetic methods. Okay, these synthetic methods are nothing but what? Polymerization reaction. Okay, there is maybe a repetitive addition condensation reaction to get a final polymer, and that final polymer is physically drawn into what? Fibers. That final polymer, what we will get? It physically drawn into what? Fibers. There are two examples of polymeric fibers in your syllabus. First one is what? Polyester fiber, and second one is nylon. Okay, let's see. See, next point is polyester fiber. It's what? A completely synthetic fiber. Polyester is a polymer that contain ester functional group in their main chain. Polyester fibers contain ester functional group in their main chain. It's a hydrophobic fiber. This polyester fiber is what? Hydrophobic fiber. It repels water molecule. We have seen cotton fiber that likes water molecule, and which is what? Hydrophilic fiber. And this polyester fiber is what? Hydrophobic fiber. If we wash two clothes, one is what? Cotton cloth, and second one is what? Polyester cloth. Okay, and both the clothes we have kept in sunlight. Obviously polyester fiber cloth will drain out water very quickly than cotton fiber, because cotton fibers likes water molecule, that is hydrophilic fiber, and polyester fiber repels water molecule, which is what? Hydrophobic fiber. See one example. Terylene is what? A polyester fiber, is a condensation polymer of ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. It's a condensation polymer of what? Ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. When this terephthalic, n number of terephthalic acid, we may take here dimethyl terephthalate, that means methyl ester or ethyl ester of this terephthalic acid. Okay, and when we will react this terephthalic acid, n number of terephthalic acid with n number of ethylene glycol molecules, then we will get this type of ester linkage. See, this is what? The ester linkage in between what? This terephthalic acid molecule and this what? Alcohol molecule. This is what? Acid, and this is what? Ester, oh, sorry, alcohol. So acid ester will get combined, there will be a removal of water molecule. Okay, and there is formation of ester linkage. So this is what? A terylene polymer. This terylene polymer is made up from ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. See, this polyester fiber is having high tensile strength. Okay, high tensile strain, that means it will not easily broken down. Okay, it will not easily damage and creates resistance. It has creates resistance means what? Folding, it's not folding ज्यादा जल्दी नहीं होता है. ओके, जैसे कॉटन के ऊपर, कॉटन का शर्ट या पैंट हम जब पहनते हैं तो उसके ऊपर जल्दी फोल्ड्स आ जाते हैं. ओके, so these polyester fibers, it's not having that much folds. Okay, so this is what creates resistance. Now next fiber is nylon fiber. It's also a completely synthetic fiber. We know there are two types of nylon. One is nylon 6 and second one is nylon 66. See, this nylon fiber is having polyamide chain in their structure. It's having polyamide grouping in their structure. Okay, it is also completely hydrophobic fiber. That means it will also repel water molecule. It has high tensile strain and abrasion resistance. It has high tensile strain and abrasion resistance. Now see, you can see this is what nylon 66 and this is what nylon 6. See, nylon 6 is prepared from adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Nylon 6 is prepared from, is a polymer which is prepared from what? Adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. See, this is also having 6 carbon. This is also having 6 carbon. Hence, it's what? Nylon 66. Next fiber is what? Nylon 6. It's also a polymer of what? Caprolactam. When caprolactam is reacted with what? Is heated at high temperature, it will get converted into what? A polymer. This is what? Nylon 6 polymer. This is what I have shown here the picture of various nylon threads. So this is what the nylon fiber. So till now we have seen natural fibers. Under natural fiber we have seen cotton, wool and silk. Then we have seen semi-synthetic fiber. In that we have seen acetate rayon, cuproammonium rayon or silk, and lastly in that we have seen viscous rayon. Then we have seen synthetic fibers. In synthetic fibers we have seen polyester and nylon fiber. Now we will stop here. Okay, rest of the topic we will see in next lecture. Thank you.